I'm Attorney Linda Bernard, also Police Commissioner Linda Bernard, and welcome to Chop It Up with Attorney Linda Bernard. It's a great day here in the city of Detroit, so all of you who are watching around the city, around the globe, enjoy. I've got a great guest today. I've got a great guest today. I apologize for that interruption. Apparently, there was a problem with the camera. I've got a great guest today, and her name is Jordan Harrington Jones. She's a dynamic woman here in the city of Detroit with an organization called Detroit Love. Help us out here.
Love, Peace, and Light Foundation.
And the reason I couldn't say it, ladies, is because I can't see. I have a severe eye condition, so I've got these glasses on today, and I'm a favorite visitor to Kresge Eye Institute. Go Kresge Eye Institute. In any event, Jordan, why don't you tell us about your organization?
So I founded Detroit's Love, Peace, and Light Foundation in the end of August, and I created this nonprofit organization because I believe that we, the people, have a lot of power in making our city better. We don't have to depend on the government per se. We should work with them. But if we are going to be taking advantage of our village and collaborating, we can make a real difference. All of the changes that we want to see, we can make it happen.
So, what's the purpose of of your foundation?
To raise awareness to mental health and wellness, education. I want to help reduce crime, make our city safer. Overall, I want to help Detroit shine brighter. I feel that we get a bad rep, even though it's a city full of talented individuals. We're known for our crime rate, the murder rate. We're known for a lot of different things that doesn't directly represent us in a way that I feel like we should be represented.
Well, just let me let you know for your information. The Detroit Police Department has had already more than 7,000 mental health runs this year alone, and it's not even close to the end of the year yet. So that gives you a sense of the issues that Detroiters are currently facing. But on the crime side, our stats are way down. They're less than they were 15 years ago. So I'm really proud of the work that the men and women in blue do in Detroit. But back to what your foundation does. You started this. What made you start this foundation?
Originally, I was working in customer service at the Secretary of State 11 years. I even worked my way up to being a branch manager. And I always knew that I wouldn't retire from there. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I started an LLC at the beginning of this year called Better Business Detroit. And even with that, the work that I wanted to do, it wasn't about profit. It was about helping others and dropping gems. If I learn something for free, I don't necessarily want to charge. So I started exploring a nonprofit, and I became more civically engaged. And I actually met you at the mayoral debate, which before this year, I wouldn't have been interested in certain events like that. So I just started educating myself in more ways to see different things that's going on and help better rather than just complaining about things that's going on in our city. And I want to make sure that we're collaborating with Detroit Police. I know that we have the walk with the police chief on Wednesdays.
That
I
stopped
do.
already.
Yeah, I know. I know. I think it's over for the season. It's getting cold, but I do see the efforts that the city officials are making, and I want to encourage residents to take ownership as well in making our city better because they can't do it alone. They do need our help. We do have to participate. We do have to encourage others to, make our city better together.
What is the biggest problem that you see in the city of Detroit and that you think your foundation can address?
I wouldn't say, well, the most motivational issue is all of the deaths that children are experiencing. People love to say children is our future, but I think that we can invest a little bit more time into protecting our children, invested in their education. I watched the debate the other day, and they said that only 5% of fourth graders can read at the correct level. So I'm looking up ways of how do I become a literacy coach and I saw pro literacy, you can volunteer for 2 hours. And they're like 50 people a month will help a great deal. So I want to encourage people like match me 2 hours. Let's volunteer. Let's take some time out of our day that we would just be scrolling on our phones and do something that can help our children. I do think that education is a pipeline to success. It's a helpful way to get introduced to your different careers and just to understand the rooms that you are in and make the best of it. So I really want to pour into our children in Detroit, because they are dependent. They follow our lead. So I want to be a leader, and I want to inspire other people to
Well,
lead.
you're obviously already a leader since you've taken the initiative to start two, I believe it is, nonprofits now here in the city of Detroit to address community concerns, particularly with youth. But isn't the bigger problem really parenting?
I think that to a certain extent, we have school systems, and we do have children that does not have parents. We have a lot of foster kids. We have parents that pass away at a young age. So who is that backup person in this person village to be that parental figure? I have 6 of my nieces and nephews to where I don't have biological kids, but now I am their a mother figure, and I'm not replacing their mom. But we have to step up as a village, and we can't put it all on the parents, because a lot of time we have parents that are working a certain amount of hours to provide for the children. So I know that it's like I'm not physically there, but they're still doing stuff with their children and mine.
They're trying to make the road better for their children. But just to play the devil's advocate for a moment, but isn't the real issue the fact that our value system has changed? Let me just give you an example. Um, I was raised, and I'm sure you were as well, because you called your mom before we started this. Before we started this interview, for example, just the simple Ten Commandments: "Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods," etc. That's being jealous and envious. That value system no longer exists. Do you know any children, for example, who even know the Ten Commandments?
I think that that is a very good point. I think that we should train the children in the way that they should go. I think that personally, I see a lot of parents teaching these values, but they're not structuring it as the Ten Commandments. I would say, even for me, my grandmother is a pastor, and I haven't been as involved in church since COVID. That changed a lot of people's life to where you're not in the home of the Lord, but the Lord is wherever you are. So when we talk about the Bible, you can
That's
do it
true.
at home. You don't have to be in that
That's
physical
true.
place. So I think that everybody have a different way of raising their children, but I do think that we have to put values on the forefront, and we have to lead by example. I think that a big thing, a part of it, is children are bored. Their attention span is completely monopolized by technology and social media. I could tell my niece to wash the dishes, and she has like the tablet next to the sink. And I'm like, well, if that fall in there, then you're out of it, and you're not even looking at the dirt on the dishes. So we have to stop them and sit them down and bring them back to reality of, you got to focus. You got to learn to focus on one thing. You got to stick to it, and we have to discipline. But again, I wouldn't say it's fair to say 100% it's on the parents, because it's life is hard, and we all need support. I think that back in the day, we did have more family values, to the point where I grew up being able to go down the street to my cousin's house. We don't see that as much, to where family is close knit besides a birthday, a funeral, or a holiday. How often are we picking up the phone and just calling this person without asking for something? So I do want to encourage more of, like you said, the values of being present and being supportive, so where somebody can reach out to you and ask for help without it being a something held over your head, or you shouldn't that shouldn't be the only time that you reach out to somebody when you need something.
But Jordan, without core values, I mean, sort of like guiding, it's like your internal compass that you're raised with. You obey your mother, for example. You obey your father. You don't lie. You don't cheat. You
Yeah.
don't steal. I mean, at least from my perspective, and maybe it's because I've been a lawyer a long time and also now involved with the police department. Those core values are not there. I see that chain that you've got on or those earrings. I want it. I take it. Like, huh? I mean,
Yeah.
you're a girl, and I think you're pretty or whatever. So I just push up on you because I feel like I can. I mean, this is there's a thought process to what's happening in our community, and there are no don'ts. I don't do that. I don't, touch a girl. I don't do this. It's not about me, 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 me. It's not about my own personal self gratification because I want the chain. And so then go get a job and buy one.
Yeah.
I mean, just the thought process, that link is missing. At least from my perspective. You tell me what your perspective is.
So if I try to get to the bottom of why our children are doing this
It's
different things,
parents. But go ahead.
I do think that the presence of a parent can play a big part, because we do have some parents that let their kids do whatever they want, but we do have some parents that try their hardest to discipline the kids, and the kids are, I'm not going to say too far gone, but the kids do what they want to do. They know that to a certain extent, you're not going to whip me, you're not going to put me out, but we still get to why do we still, and I'm going to play devil's advocate. Sometimes it's because they don't have the need. So stealing for food, or stealing because of, I get it, they value, or sometimes people value tangible items, but how do we create more opportunities for these children? I've been working since 14, and that
I'm
was
suburban
very,
since I was about 12. I've been babysitting since I was 12, and before that, I was cutting grass and shoveling snow and doing stuff just to make it. Was like 50 cents.
but that was something that was in you for you to do that. A lot of kids don't wake up and be like, I want to work, because they expect their parents to do it for them. But what if your parents are not in the position to do it for you? I think that in the city of Detroit, the poverty level is at an all-time high. So if your parent
That's
don't
true.
have this to provide and you want it, then they go get it.
Well,
But how do we go get it, or how do we make opportunities to partner with them rather than them taking it upon themselves?
But-
So I would suggest, like, maybe we have so many businesses that have poor customer service or understaffed. Why don't we go into these schools and make more programs so you hire these people? You're training them up in a way that you want to go. Like, can we do more programs to where we are going to where the kids are and introducing them to a new career path, or introducing them to structure before they see something on the internet and they say, oh, well, I'm going to get it this way. This is fast. Everybody want quick money.
Well, it's interesting you say that. Well, I wasn't part of the technological generation, if you will, who was into that. So we were much more communicative, communicative in terms of what we're doing. But in reference to what you said, my mother died when I was 5 years old. I was raised by my father and my grandmother, myself, my sister, and my brother. But at all times, I knew that because my father worked 7 days a week, I knew that I had to work. I never even contemplated stealing or any of the other. And because I love my father, and I still do, I mean, I call him my Alpha and my Omega, I did everything I could to make him proud.
Yeah.
To lessen his burden, so he didn't have to worry about me. I mean, I've been making my own money, like I said, since I was about 11. I started babysitting then and everything. But it goes back, I think, again to your core. And I don't. What it's difficult for me to understand now is why you can sit there, want something, or know that your parents don't have it to give to you. My dad didn't have it. He was a waiter for 50 years. So therefore, he didn't have it to give. I mean, we just didn't have it. But I mean, I cleaned people's houses since I was 11. For $12, $15, my aunt would pay me $15 to clean up her house, clean the kitchen, vacuum, mop, all that kind of stuff. I always had a sense of wanting to make a contribution, not just, the world doesn't begin and end with me, not just taking. And it's so troubling to me now that, I mean, you should see the reports that I read every day. I'm at a gas station. I have an argument with somebody. They hit me, they punch me or whatever. And I take out a gun and shoot the person 3 times.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, thou shalt not kill. You should not. Do you even think to use deadly force
Mm-hmm.
in response to an argument that you and I are having
Right.
is something that wouldn't even occur to me.
So I know you said the parents, but what about the schools? Do you think that the schools can do more? Like I think that for the most
You
part,
know
the
what I
kids
think
feel
with
a lot
respect
of
to the
time.
schools?
But
Honest, on my mother and my father. You know what I think? And
what?
I really firmly, I thought this 30 years ago, before it got as bad as it is now. But we have less than, what, 50,000 students in the Detroit public school system. I've always thought we needed boarding schools. And let me tell you why. Because children need structure.
Mm-hmm.
Structure is the most important thing in the world. I need to go to bed at a certain time, get
Mm-hmm.
up at a certain time, dinner at a certain time, homework at a certain time.
Yeah.
That structure is what helped make me successful to the extent I'm successful. But my friends who are overseas, who are just like yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you said you're a professional woman, you with the Secretary of State, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to be at work. You've got to be at work.
Mm-hmm.
So when parents are, like you say, working one or even two jobs sometimes, they don't have the time to put in place the structure for the child.
Exactly.
So let me just say, in Europe and everywhere else in the world, kids go to boarding school.
Mm-hmm.
On Sunday evening, they go to school.
Mm-hmm.
They take the train in the morning. You know, at 6 o'clock, they wake up in the school. They go to bed at 9 o'clock. So they've slept for like 9 hours before they get up. And then there's breakfast, and then there's class, and then there's lunch, and then there's recreation, and then there's study time again, and then there's dinner, and then there's the structure is what makes a person any corporation successful. It can't be loosey goosey. So and you're right. There are many parents are single parent households, as you say, grandmothers or other people are taking care of their kids. So how do you address that? You do that by putting the child in a structured environment for 5 days. And all my friends in London and stuff, their kids come home Friday with their backpacks in there. They've got on their uniforms and all that. They're with their parents from Friday at maybe 6 o'clock until Sunday evening. Then they go back to school. But when they go back to school, they're doing what kids do. What's the kid's job? To learn.
Yeah.
That's their job. Their job number one is to learn. It isn't to run the streets. It isn't. It is that structure. And I'm sleeping 9 hours a night, and I mean, you'd be surprised. It was amazing to me to even see it.
Yeah.
And I've known for at least 30. I've wanted to turn the big buildings and so forth into boarding schools. Bring the kid to us because you don't have the time. You got, like you. I mean, you got work. You got stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always
Bring them
something
to,
do.
and then let the kid at least for 5 days a week have a reasonable situation. I'm not eating.
We
I'm
still
not
gonna
eating
need-
potato chips for breakfast. You know, my hair is combed. There's standards in schools, and
But
that's
gonna
how a
take
kid
a
is
lot of
is successful.
a very strong village. I think that it's a lot of unfortunate situations to where you can't always trust the adults that you're leaving the kids and their presence. And I think that's something that has changed. A lot,
Well, schools have standards and they have structure, and they have licenses and everything. It's not. I mean,
but it's still the
it's better than
individual.
the kid being at home by herself or
Yeah.
herself.
I think me personally, I would try to, one, help encourage more two parent households. So I know we have marriage counseling, but do we have counseling that's advertised towards just co parents and helping them work through those different issues for the sake of the children? Or even just like healthy parents. We focus a lot on women, we focus a lot on children, but men do have a lot of different things that they go through too. And I know that sometimes they get overlooked and they feel like nobody in the world care for them. So it's like, what do we, how do we reach out to them into a way to where we get it to them that like you have to be healthy, you have to be mentally healthy to be present. And I think for men a lot of times it may be financial. So it's like it's a lot that goes into it. But I want to do the best that I can to provide the youth with different resources. And even parents, my organization is not just going to cater to the youth. I am starting with the youth because I think that a lot of people will help. But is it going to be a consistent and reoccurring thing?
Correct.
Like I'm doing a Youth Empowerment Day. Am I going to disappear to next November, or are you going to have programs that's in place? A lot of times we see an unfortunate situation, and then we pray for the family, and then we forget because it's not my kid, it's not my cousin, and then what happens? So we're not fixing the issue.
So how what is your outreach to children and families currently through your foundation?
So my very first initiative, we're doing a Youth Empowerment Day at the Coleman Young Recreation Center,
When is that going to be?
November 8th from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And
November 8th, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m.
yes,
Coleman
Coleman
Young
Young Recreation Center.
Recreation Center. Okay, and so what's going to happen?
We're going to have food there because I know that there's a food insecurity. I know that especially when you're on governmental assistance, you have to worry about that food not being there next month. We don't know if the benefits are going to be there. So I want to make sure that we are able to give food to the parents and the kids that attend, the volunteers that attend. We have a organization called Power Players in Progress where they will
I'm
be
sorry, can you repeat that
the
name?
Power Players in Progress.
Power Players and Progress.
Yes, so that's
Okay.
a group of young professionals, and at their table, they are going to be collecting canned goods, coats, winter supplies, anything that people would like to bring to donate, so that we can get this to the kids that are facing insecurity, food insecurities, homelessness, or just don't have the access to these things. Um, we're also going to have different programs. So, introducing the kids to coding, technology, AI. Code 313 is going to be there, which is a popular organization. The Star Factory. It's so many different organizations. I actually have at least 13 on my flyer, so I don't want to name them out and miss some. Um, One thing that we're doing is a prom dress giveaway. So we are going to award a prom dress with the value of 1,500 to one teen. It is an application,
$1,500 for a dress.
custom dress, but that's the value. So instead of a young lady paying $1,500, they're going to answer some questions that's going to make them think about themselves, where they are now and where they want to be. An application fee is $10. So just giving an opportunity, because something like that, it plays a part in a young lady's life. Like, you go to prom, this is something you're going to remember for the rest of your
I
life.
never went to prom.
You didn't?
No, I did not.
I went to
I
prom.
was
It
in
wasn't a
Catholic
big
school.
deal.
We didn't
It
have
wasn't a big
proms,
deal to me.
and we didn't have proms.
Yeah. Messiah Youth Theater, they are playing a huge role in this event. I definitely want to give a shout out to them. They are providing 27 youth volunteers. They are going to have a day of service, so they are volunteering and they are performing. So I'm very grateful for all of the different organizations that's coming a part of this. Umaja debate is going to do a 1 hour public speaking with the class of youth. So we have a lot of different resources that we are introducing the community, and we just want to make sure that they know that there are different outlets. You know, you can draw if you want to release some anger and draw a picture, draw what you're feeling, rather than going and, like you said, punching. I would like to get a physical activity, because for a lot of people, they do have to make a physical connection to release it. But they have boxing classes, they have different things that you can do so that you can express yourself without just making a decision that alters the rest of your life.
Well, see, I'm used to the people who make the decisions that alter the rest of their life. Because as a lawyer, because and certainly my influence with the criminal justice system, but you have such a broad base of items and activities you have for this day.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and as you speak, I thought about things I had never thought about, like how do you express your aggression. You said, well, we have a boxing class.
Yeah.
We have things that you can, as you say.
Introduce them, because kids don't know that these different things exist. They think that I'm going to get on social media and I'm going to, cuss this kid out, and now you're cyberbullying. So learn how to articulate your words. I personally want to take a debate class, because I would love to be able to have a conversation and not be offensive or overly aggressive, and just learn how to listen before you respond. I think that's important that we introduce that to these kids. That's a part of reading and comprehension. So maybe we can have like mock debates in school. Kids argue all the time, but teach them how to make it more formal. Okay, well, let's bring your argument in front of the class and let everybody, different things. I think that we talk about politics and how what is the voter, not the voter insecurity, but pretty much that we are losing our democracy because we don't take advantage of our right to vote. But I know personally, when I was in high school, or probably a little bit younger, we were taught that you didn't talk about certain things in public. You didn't talk about religion. You didn't talk about your political stance because you may offend somebody. But we have freedom of speech, right? I
That's
just don't
correct.
think that we exercise it as much as other cultures, and then we kind of lose that right. So we gotta bring different things like that into to the kids so that they know how to articulate their opinions and their voices can be heard. I'm a introvert for sure, but I'm
I don't
learning.
believe that. No, you
I'm
can't
learning
convince me of that.
as a nonprofit founder. I have to teach others how to advocate for themselves as I do for myself. You know, you have to learn how to communicate with your doctors because a lot of times with the doctors, they are going by a textbook and they're not taking into consideration what you say. You tell them you're not in pain, and they say, well, you tell them you are in pain, and they say, no, you're not. And it's like, well, how you gonna tell me? So it's like in these situations, we have to learn to speak up for ourselves.
What was you're a native born Detroiter,
Yes, ma'am.
and you have obviously. Where did you go to high school? Why don't you give us some
So
background on you
I went to
about why
elementary
you're so
school.
successful and articulate?
I think that some things are just in you. Um, I grew up, and I can't even say a specific school as far as elementary school because we migrated, I'll say, across the city. We went from house to house a couple times due to different situations, due from a one parent household or, limited access. And I'm not going to make any excuses, but that was the situation. And I ended up going to Madison High School, and it was just like going to a Detroit school. We were
In
all,
Madison Heights?
yeah, it was
Okay.
just all the kids from Detroit caught the bus. It was right up John R. It was okay school, but I always knew that it was certain things that I wanted in life, and if I wanted it, I have to work for it. So if I want my first car at 16, I know that mom's not in a position financially to get it for me. I need to get a job. I need to do different things to where I can create these opportunities. And I carry that over into life. I would say that I don't look like your regular model. I don't look like Tyra Banks. I'm not tall and skinny. I'm probably the opposite. But I still sign up to be a model anyway. And that's something I do for my own self confidence. I create my own tables. You don't wait on people to invite you. I'm not waiting on a political figure to ask me my opinion. I'm making my own platform. I'm spreading my voice. I'm finding a village of people that think how I do and want to actually do something about it. So,
Did you go to college? You said you went. You were telling us about your education. Did you
hmm
go to college as well?
I did go to Marygrove briefly, and I was going for business, which I kind of felt like I don't need a degree to be business minded. I did just go back this year and graduated with my associates at the University of Phoenix because I'm like, I got all these school loans. I might as well have something to solidify it. So I did end up going back for my associate's degree in business. I am taking different certifications just to enhance myself and
Good for you.
to build my resume. But majority of the time, I would say manager minded because I was stuck in career mode. I was working at the Secretary of State, and it's like this is such a respected job, but that began to be a small box for me to where I felt like I was being contained, and I knew that it wasn't enough for what I want to do. And that's the hard part about it being a visionary. Like the youth empowerment, that's just one vision. That's not the whole organization as a whole. So it's like,
Tell
how
us
do
about the rest of these visions that you have.
I definitely want to do something for advocacy. I want to foster relationships. I do have a soft spot, I would say, for black men. Not a black man in particular, but I know that naturally they don't have the natural born communication skills that women may have, so they're at a disadvantage, especially when it comes to city officials. So not just the police. I've saw men in the probation office like trying to ask a question and getting so frustrated because of the attitudes that they're getting, and they can't do nothing about it. They
It's
don't.
true.
So it's like, they just leave, and it's like, but wait, you need to know. And I felt myself wanting to step in for this stranger. So I'm like, okay. And then it's been other situations where I see a lot of black men taking custody over their children. I do feel like they don't get their flowers for that. We got single moms, but we have single dads too that's stepping up and they're taking custody of kids, multiple kids. And we have men that are doing everything for child support And child support doesn't always respond and make sure that everything is fair for them too. So I do feel like we got to make it like an even playing board when we do have men that want to be in the children's life. You know, it's more than just a dollar. They can pay their child support, but if they want to see the kids, they shouldn't have to wait 3 to 5 years to hear something to adjust, you know, the visitation. So I do want to make it to where we can have more men in our community that feel valued and they are able to be appreciated and they are able to lead in a way that they want to lead. Um, and that's touchy, but I do want to help men learn to communicate more. I do want to find a way to help influence more two-parent households. I'm not going to say in every situation that is just like the best or that means that the child is going to be 100% the best, but I do think it's worth a shot. I think that it'd be some support for our women. It'll be some support in our communities. I wish that I had more family on my dad's side. I don't have that much family on my dad's side. So if I don't like my mama's side, then it's just me. But luckily that's not the situation. But it's like we need as much support and love in this world as possible. Because you go outside and you see a stranger and they don't give a care about you. No matter if they look like you, no matter if they're in the same financial status as you. And then you have the government that doesn't really care if you are not the richest or you're not the poorest. So what about the middle people? We got to help ourselves.
Well, I agree with your passion for young males of any and all races. I agree with you that somehow we're letting them down. I mean, and there should be more initiatives, more programs like yours that are willing to engage them. Because despite what some people think, girls are very different from boys. I mean, just you. What is it? 3% of your blood is less than 4% is testosterone, and theirs is 100% testosterone. Yeah. We're very different people, very different, and the initiatives for them, and there is much more bias against African American males than there is about females. There's a presumption, unfortunately, that they are up to no good or that they're criminal or something like that. That doesn't exist for women.
Yeah.
Maybe because we are responsible for birthing all of society. So I like what you said about helping men. All my nephews, everybody's a boy. So I'm very engaged with them. And so there's going to be at your event. Again, remind our audience about the date of your event.
It is November 8th at the Coleman A. Young Recreation Center from 2 to 5.
Okay, and that is where's Coleman A. Young Center? Where is it?
2751 Robert Bradby. Bradby, yeah.
Robert Bradby Drive.
Yes.
That's correct. And it's a wonderful center, and the city has put a few $1 million into it. It's exceptional. Now, big pool. They've got all kinds of things and everything over there.
We're going to be in the gymnasium. I'm very excited. I do want to do programs upcoming for women as well, because again, mental health is a thing that I don't think that we acknowledge it. Sometimes we're scared to go to the doctor because you don't want them to put a label on you. You don't want them to give you a bunch of medicine. But we have to learn our way to holistically medicate ourselves if that's what we want to do. We have to find
isn't that marijuana? I'm just teasing.
For some people it may be, but for some people it might be a walk. It may be talking to someone. It could be journaling. I like audio journals, but just to raise awareness to all of the different working parts. So I don't want to focus on men only, but I do want to make sure that they're a piece of the puzzle that's getting help as well as the women, because we don't protect our women and our kids like we should anymore. I mean, that's one of the values that you think that people will swear by. So I do want to give like a shout out to the New Era Detroit, the Force Detroit, and all of the different CVI organizations that making their presence known in the neighborhoods. And it's like, yeah.
May I suggest for your next meeting, it may be too late for this one, for your next, if you will, sort of symposium, that you include the military? Yeah. Because when you're 18, you can escape the madness of your home or your community and get food, shelter, clothing, training, and the benefits on the back end once you're there 4 years. You can get a free education at any college in the nation.
Yeah.
You get the VA loan. You get zero down when you want to buy a house, and you have VA benefits, health benefits,
Yeah.
permanently. I mean, we ignore the white community doesn't, but unfortunately, our community does for males and females. It makes no sense if because of the issues that our community is experiencing. Like you said, there's homelessness and there's there you said food deserts, all these kinds of things. Go sign up.
But okay, so I would just say from my own experience, when I think military, I think war. I don't want to
You
go
think
to
what?
Iraq. War. I don't want to go to Iraq.
It hasn't
But
been a
I
war in
don't-
years.
I think that there's always silent wars going on. Our troops are in different places.
We're all over the world.
Yes.
We're
but
peacekeepers all over the
people
world.
want to come home to their families. And I'm not
They do
saying
come
that.
home to
I'm
their
saying my
families.
first thought. So I think that like the things that would deter me personally, like I know I personally don't want to go to war. So I don't really. But I think that a lot of times the things that they see is the disabilities, the mental issues, or the lost limbs, and it's like there's benefits to it, but to a certain extent, you don't know if you're gonna come back the same. So how do we present it in a way to where it seems to me money isn't everything. So I'm not a person that's gonna be like, okay, they got the sign on bonus. I do know people that went for like monetary value, but I don't know. I think that I'm not the right person to really. I can't advocate for that because I'm maybe uninformed or uneducated about it to a point where it's like I was 100% say, yeah, you should go ahead and go.
Well, I'm suggesting that you have a military recruiter at your events because you spoke about your commitment to males, and many males that they have all this testosterone and they want to do something and they want to be physically fit and they want to be physically active and they want to learn perhaps about weapons and about technology. I mean, the military now is all technology.
Yeah.
It's all I can sit in it like we did. I can sit here in Detroit and have a satellite drop a bomb in
Yeah.
Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
So I mean, the benefits of having, like we said, room and board, money, job training, education, and everything far outweigh the possibility. Although it can happen. I can't say it can't. And I say that I say that, Jordan, because virtually all the men in my family joined the military. They're all back. They're all fine. That's not a problem. But and they built such great lives for themselves.
Yeah.
And the women that I've met who become colonels and majors and just the what I talked to you about earlier about boarding school, that kind of discipline, if it's injected in your life,
Yeah.
makes a huge difference in the way you think and the way you conduct yourself. You can't afford to get arrested. You're gonna back away from the fights, back away from the disputes,
What
and,
about?
and you're focused on your future.
But don't we have like cadet programs? Can we start like with cadets? And what is it? ROTC? Can we start?
You
Like,
can do the ROTC in high school, and you get
Yeah.
paid for it.
but is that as common as it used to be?
Unfortunately, it isn't because unfortunately, our organizations are focusing on what I call, if you will, the soft side of life, not the progressive side of life. What am I going to be doing 5 years from now? What is it? What is it I'm going to be? How am I going to take care of myself? I mean, what am I going to do? I mean, how do I get an education for free?
Yeah.
You get it for free if you go. You get paid in the ROTC in high school. You join the reserves in college. You get paid for that too.
Yeah.
And then you get this wonderful little thing called a D12, I think it's called.
DD 214.
Yeah, 214.
Uh-huh.
That lets you get discounts on clothes. That gets you in hotels discounts. That takes you all over that can benefit you in so many ways. I'm not just sitting there waiting. I mean, there is no better thing on your resume than being a veteran, because as you know, Being a veteran, if you and I both apply for a job
Mm-hmm.
and
You
you're a
have a
veteran,
preference.
veteran's preference.
Yeah. But what if you want to be an entrepreneur? So, like, personally,
It's
it's like,
still, you still learn.
yeah.
It's your structure. It's the
Mm-hmm.
foundation of the building. You learn discipline.
Mm-hmm.
You learn how to get up in the morning. You learn
Yeah.
how to take care of business. You learn camaraderie.
Mm-hmm.
You learn a brotherhood, a sisterhood. All of these are positives,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't get them from the street.
Right. It's something to look into.
It's,
So I can't really say that I'm against it because I haven't dug deep into it to say like, oh no. But I would say personally, from my experience, I would have to look more into it to really just be like, because I want to know what I'm talking about and know what I'm encouraging other people to do. So I might need to talk to some military recruiters, and I need to,
well, you
one of
might give them the opportunity.
Yeah.
You're giving people the opportunity to get food and this and that and the other.
resources.
But how about a career on day one?
Mm-hmm.
Which and I'm removed from this situation, from the cesspool of the streets.
Yeah.
Day one.
Mhm.
All I gotta do is pass a physical.
And that's hard. When I thought about doing a National Guard and they wanted me to lose, I'm not even going to say how much, but I'm like, that's out the window. If that's what I got to do, I got to lose a bunch of weight. And that goes back to like the healthy eating and the structure. Some of this stuff have to be in you before it get to that point because you already have different disqualifications. So that might not be like a part or a path for everybody. Everybody not going to be fit for everything. But I think it's cool that we provide the youth with as much options as possible.
I agree with you, and
Yeah.
that's why I'm just suggesting that in addition to the other services that you have, it doesn't cost you anything. They come with their own materials, their own table, their
don't
own
hurt.
everything,
Yeah.
and let them sit there and let them talk to people. Give me a way out of the hood immediately if I can do it. If I could, as you said, if I can pass the physical. Obesity is a major problem in Black America. I mean, what is it, more than 60%
Yeah.
of our community? I mean, it's because of the food that we eat and the fact that myself included, we don't exercise like we're supposed
Food
to.
is too seasoned.
I'm sorry.
I said food is too seasoned.
Oh, girl, please! I'm in the
It's so
bed with
good.
potato chips and pop all the time.
Yeah, and I think that plays a part into like especially young women. Women are starting their menstruals a lot younger.
That at 11.
That's I don't
And
I think
10.
it's 15. So it's like a lot of the education if they don't have the mom to teach them how to use certain things. Like I do want to have and we're seeking donations for hygiene products. You don't have to get too far in it, but that's something that should be discreet, but a young lady should always have it. Sometimes they don't
Agree.
want to ask for different things like that. And they don't know that it's okay and they're learning their body, and there's nothing to be ashamed of, but you have to have a safe place. So I just want to create more safe places for our children and our adults. But the children are our future. So I really think that it's like, who gonna be taking care of us in a few years? If we don't teach our kids these different skills and these different values, then ain't no telling what our world's gonna look like. Ain't no telling what Detroit is gonna look like, or our political systems. Because who's interested in politics if we have TikTok and it's a lot of different ways to make money now to where it's like the different careers that we used to want to be doctors and veterinarians, and now you could be a social media influencer and make millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars.
Yeah, so
I don't quite understand it because I'm not really a social media person. I like to communicate, more directly than that. I mean, of course, you all get the little clips on everything that's happening in the world within our community and outside of our community. But you're absolutely right. There are new careers in social media. But you can even learn that in the military because they have so much technology.
yeah,
Technology is the key to the future, and totally.
yeah.
And so you need to be trained in all kinds of stuff.
That's one of the things. Like I love taking like. Again, having 6 kids, they're all into different things. I have a niece that loves to do nails. So at the Youth Empowerment Day, we're going to have a young lady there doing free manicures. Her name is Lala. And my niece may be like her assistant, just so you can see a professional, what it's like to have clientels and be booked and busy. And somebody might be impatient. Somebody might not like their nails. Like, you have to see that stuff in real time to know, like, okay, can I really handle that? Because everybody is not meant to do everything. And I think that's
I agree.
a big thing that we get in customer service. People apply to work at McDonald's and then you hate your job. So you don't perform well in it. Like we gotta find stuff that we really like and walk in our paths, walk in our destiny or our calling.
But you just mentioned something that has become a career or at least a hustle for many people, and that is the grooming issues,
Yeah.
hair, nails, the braiding, all that kind of stuff. These hairstyles cost hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me, and it's a culture that we have developed because of our interest in French braiding and all kinds of braiding and everything. And there are careers that way, but then the issue goes back to what you said at first, and that is financial literacy. What are you going to do with that $200? Let's say you made $600 a day or $800. What are you going to do with that money? How are you going to spend it? How are you going to invest it? I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Do you even have a bank account?
Right. Yeah. Credit, like is your credit? Do you don't touch your credit until you need it, but I think it's a big thing of image. A lot of people want to keep up with other people, and now you overspending, and now you putting yourself in a rut when you can't afford to have this. Like I don't have to have Gucci and Louis Vuitton.
Me either.
I'd rather have a full tank of gas. I'd rather be able to go to splurge on a seafood.
It doesn't make
boil.
sense. For the first time, there's a Gucci store in Detroit. I was downtown and I was in that vicinity, and I walked across the street from the hotel to the Gucci store. First time I ever went. Incidentally, everybody that works in a Gucci store is black. It was wonderful. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just knew they were going to be all white people, but they weren't. And so I looked at the purses and all that because I'm a purse person, but I've refused. My nieces and everything spend $3,000 for a purse. But anyway, Gucci purses were $3,000. The one I liked.
Yeah.
I thought I would never spend $3,000 on a purse.
That's a
period.
Car. Yeah.
I mean, but people do it. I mean, they're there because people come in there and they buy stuff.
And if you got it, treat yourself. But if you're facing eviction and it's easy the eviction or this Gucci purse, then that don't make sense to me.
No.
Or like my car, I need a brand new car. Cars go down all the time, so it's like I need to save some money for when my air compressor go out next week, rather than you just got to think ahead. But again, that comes with structure and just having these tools available. Did somebody teach you about a checkbook, even though we don't use them that often? Do you have something in your phone? There's so many different apps where you can keep track of your money, the subscriptions. It's so much stuff to pay for. But what do you think about the businesses that make money in Detroit but that don't invest in Detroit? I think that's something that we should work on. Is there such thing as is it bids or some type of agreement that requires businesses to pour back into the community?
No.
Okay.
If you have government contracts, if you have a city contract, you have to get a clearance that you will employ a certain percentage of minorities and so forth. It's minority bidding requirements, or even though, let's say you're a white person, so they need to do business with you as an African American, as one of their suppliers, or certainly in terms of their employees and so forth. There are those kinds of requirements.
Yeah.
If you want government contracts, but if you don't want a government contract, then it doesn't matter.
Okay.
You can do what you want to do.
Yeah.
You can hire all albinos if you want to, but and discriminate. In general. I mean, not discriminate in general. You can't, because there are federal laws there, that prohibit an employer from doing it. But you can do it. Certainly informally. No one would even know about it. When you walk into a company and it's all white, it's the reason.
Yeah, I say that because I see a lot of grants and funding available, but it's for profit. And it's like your investment doesn't always have to be a return investment in money. If you care about the community, invest in the community, and that's going to be a reimbursement once you have like buildings that's not getting vandalized, or just the communities that's cleaner. Like, how do we make more initiatives that encourage businesses to work with the people that's around them? A lot of time with these businesses, especially when they're not from the neighborhood, they don't really care about the people that come in there, but you're gonna buy it because you need gas, you need food, they're the ones that sell it. So we kind of take the crap, and then when it's a black owned business, you throw the food in their face, and we just don't communicate the same, or we don't help them. Or as a business owner, you don't listen to your community. We have to listen. If 50% of the people say your macaroni is nasty, then I would get a group. I would get a group of like my aunts or a group of like my regular customers and get some feedback. Like, you might have to give away a free couple of taste tests to make a greater benefit. Or if your food is inconsistent, then you might need to host something just to make sure that you're hitting those standards that you make.
But what you're seeing in Detroit, and we've got to close. I want to come back to your event. I want you to talk about that.
Okay.
Right now is more individual entrepreneurship. Everything from food trucks, if you will, to the nails, to hair, to clothing, little pop up. You see, everything now is pop up, pop up,
Yeah,
pop up.
yeah, yeah.
But beyond all that, tell us again about your event and tell people where to come and what to do.
So again, we are going to be at the Come In Young Recreation Center on November 8th from 2
What
p.m.
day is
to-
that? November
It is a
8th.
Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. So it is midday. You don't have to stay the whole time, but there will be a segment for speakers. Shout out to Keon Clifton. He's actually doing a conference down the street. 1% Better. He is going to be speaking. Adrienne Booth Johnson and her husband, Jeremiah Steen, Arthur Harrington, and one just got added today, so I do have to look back at my notes for her name. But we do have some public speakers that are going to be coming to enlighten the children and hopefully motivate them and inspire them.
And their parents.
Yeah, and their parents.
So
And then-
this is open for everyone.
Yes, and it is a free event. Of course, donations are completely appreciated to help with future programming. But free food, we have a whole wellness corner, chair massages, basic manicures, facials. Still looking for a barber to lock in and do some free haircuts, but I do have some vouchers for some free haircuts from the Barber College. I have a gentleman coming out to pass out bus tickets.
Okay.
I have so many different resources that are coming. Gun prevention, violence.
Well,
Yeah, it's a lot of different things.
I
And
want our community to be aware of you. Say your name. Say your name.
my name is Jordan Harrington Jones, and I am the founder of Detroit's Love, Peace, and Light Foundation.
Say
We
your
are
name.
here-
Say your name.
Jordan Harrington Jones. And the event on
And the name of the organization again?
Detroit's Love, Peace, and Light Foundation. November 8th is the Shine Bright Detroit Youth Empowerment Day. And it's going to be great. I'm very happy, and I'm stepping out on faith. This is my very first event that I ever did. This is my first introduction to the world as a nonprofit founder, and I'm ready to collaborate with any organization, any block club, anybody that's looking to better our city and truly mean it.
Jordan, you are a remarkable young woman. I don't know how you got this public interest spirit that you have, your energy, and you're so smart. I just want to thank you for being a guest today on Chop It Up with myself, attorney Linda Bernard, and we'll have to have you come back during the holiday season. I'm sure you'll be engaged in something else that you'll want to talk about.
Absolutely.
So please let me know.
Thank you. And I
And
do
let us know
appreciate
here
you.
at WJZZ.
Thank you.
Cool TV.
Cool TV.
That's correct.
It's very nice. It's very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad we were able to get it done.
Yeah.